So moving is a risky, scary thing. You're uprooting your life. And the hardest part about that is leaving the familiar family members, familiar friends, the familiar places that are your support system. Mainly friends and family. Family definitely, especially if you're close to family, leaving them, not having them in close physical proximity is the hardest thing for people to deal with when deciding if they're going to move. They may get frustrated with family, they may get frustrated with their friends, they may even get frustrated with their familiar environment. But frustration versus commitment to seriously change is two different things. Like it said, there's a lot of talk, but sometimes little action. You know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I'm done, I'm tired of this," and they say that day in, day out, and they don't change, they don't move, and it's understandable. Look, I mean, life is hard, or it can be, and you know, things are not easy, but sometimes you got to do the thing that isn't easy in order to live a better life, so you don't make your life harder than it needs to be. And it's achievable. It's achievable to move. It's achievable to do it responsibly, to secure a job in a new location before you go there, to use maybe the gig economy as a way to keep an income as a bridge. And you have to pull back and remember that you have done things throughout your life, whether it's graduate high school, get a GED, separate from a breakup, get over a divorce, get over a death. You've done things in your life that you've already proven that you can do things when you need to. And you kind of got to put yourself in that mentality where you give yourself a boost in your confidence, even if you just push yourself off the diving board, even when you're scared. Again, I'm not a believer to do things recklessly. I believe do things responsibly, but I believe even when you line up everything, you still have to have faith, because it's still scary, uncertain, risky to do something new. And certainly moving, changing environments, changing jobs, something like that. But specifically in this video, we're talking about moving physical locations. That's going to require you to have everything in order, okay, so that you mitigate risk, and then to have the faith to take the risk. And that requires a focus level of motivation, inspiration, determination. You know, that's where life's not an exact science. You can have everything lined up and you still got an emotional hurdle, a mental hurdle to get over. And that's where you need that determination, passion, etc. And it's worth it. Look, as I look at my life, and whether it's moving to Florida by myself, without family, without friends, for me it's been worth it. For me it's been my best life. You can always visit. Now with technology, you can always video conference. Every day I call my mom on video WhatsApp, and I try to see her at least once a year. And you know, now I could certainly understand that we want to physically be able to touch and be physically close to people, and obviously have a level of familiarity. But you're going to become familiar with your new surroundings. The main thing is getting over not being physically close to family, friends, etc. And, you know, that's an individual thing. But for me, and I've known people, to be fair, that have moved to Florida, then moved back, or moved somewhere and then moved back because of family. And, you know, for them, that's their decision. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, I still don't see them really happy, because I actually recommend that you move to where you want to move. Don't move back necessarily, but then like go back for an extended period of time. And in my opinion, you're going to realize why you left, if you chose to leave. Now, if you were forced to leave, then that's always a different circumstance. If you're married and one person wants to go somewhere else and one doesn't, that's tough. You know, definitely tough if both people aren't in agreement. But if you're single, I always say, if you're single with no pets, no kids, you have a lot of luxury, a lot. So, you know, use that, you know, and use the time in your life to enjoy yourself. We have to take calculated risk. We can't always play it safe, but we mitigate risk through doing things responsibly in order and not taking excessive, unnecessary risk. And you're going to you're going to test the limits to that. We always test the limits, and, through trial and error, through experience, we hopefully grow, learn, and become wiser. And that's part of developing as a person. And that's why, if you have the ability physically and mentally, I do believe there's a certain point in your life where you want to get out of your parents' house, because you're not going to develop physically or emotionally or mentally without being forced to figure it out. And there's no substitute for life experience. Like when I was younger, I played sports, and there was always that saying that, you can practice every day, and that's great, but game speed versus practice speed is totally different. Like you can make 100 free throws during practice, but during the game, at the end of the game, with the crowd roaring, and it's just different, and everything's different, game speed versus practice speed. And you may practice in your mind, you may listen to videos like this, which is good. Practice, you should practice, but you got to do also, after you've done all the research. And this is part of that life that you can read all you want, and it's good, but you got to actually do, because you got to learn, and you're going to mess some things up. And life's a little sloppy. Life's a coffee stain in your car. It's, it's a little bit of aggravation, and I wish it wasn't so. But I know that even though life can be frustrating, it's better to aggressively, responsibly live life than to just sleep all day, take naps, and just say, fuck it, I'm just going to get overwhelmed and do nothing. That's a horrible life. I see people live it, and no judgment, but I'm going to evaluate and say, I don't want to do that. And you have to evaluate it and say, I don't want to do that. And the people who are taking a nap, bullshit in their life, they say you're mean, you're judging them. Hey guys, you don't need people like that in your life. They're going to guilt trip you all the way to the grave. You're going to waste your life. You're going to wake up 20 years from now, and now you really are going to have a bad knee. And now you really can't do what you want to do. And you're going to say, oh man, I should have just did it then. Responsibly. So, those are my thoughts through my life experience as a 41-year-old man. I always say, look, is my life perfect? No, but is my life kind of evolving to what I want it to be at this season of my life? Yes. And that comes through research and action. It comes through moving away from family, friends, the familiar, but doing it responsibly, getting a job transfer first, doing the gig economy, doing side hustles, and, just persevering one step at a time, having bad days, keep showing up. And hopefully you're able to figure it out for you, and what makes you tick, and what makes you inspired, doing things you don't want to do to get where you want to get, and just keep pushing forward, trying to make your life progressively better so that you can live more inspired and less depressed. There's always some stress, some anxiety of life, but again, the best life is better than just dealing with life not trying. So try your best, do your best, and give some thought into what you can do to simplify, streamline your life, get rid of the unnecessary stuff and expenses, so that you can live below your means, so you can free up some of your capacity to go after the life you want. You live below your means to go after the life you want, to take more risk, calculated risk, and to realize that if you sustain a life where you're below your means, you have more enjoyment, less stress, and you have more options, less desperation. And that's all part of, why we have certain things in our life set up so that, again, we just make it the best we can. But it requires emotional discipline and occupying your time, managing your time. Idle time is the devil's playground, and you can put a spreadsheet together, which is great, but if you can't, when in doubt, don't buy. When in doubt, walk off the car lot. When in doubt, keep it simple. If you can't do that, it's going to be tough. And I wasn't always able to do that. And, so it's not a judgment. These are reminders, daily reminders. Meditate on that which is good, and try to learn from experience and just push forward. So thank you for watching. If you appreciate these videos and you want to support the channel, click that blue join button, click the thumbs up, Subscribe if you're not. Check out my playlist, which is thousands of free videos. Keep showing up. You'll tend to get progressively better no matter what it is. And you'll actually move up, because most people will not show up consistently. So if you show up, you're automatically going to move up. And then if you show up and you try to get better and you put some effort, you're going to go even higher up. And before you know it, you've moved up 2-3 notches, and all you did was basic things. You didn't even get a master's degree. So this is what I've learned in life, and hopefully it helps you. And I want to thank all my members. I want to thank everyone who watches and leaves a positive comment, a level of support in any way. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you next one. Peace.